Hello and welcome to this session of Testim. In this session we are going to learn what is data-driven testing and how can we do data-driven testing with Testim. This is going to be very easy and very interesting. I will also show you hands-on demo and you can follow along with me. So in this session we will start by what is data-driven testing, and then we will see how do we do data-driven testing in Testim. We will also learn how can we use data from scripts and external files like Excel or CSV. So let's get started and let us first see what is data-driven testing. Now, whenever we have to create any test, we generally add some test data. For example, let's say I will go to some demo login website. Let's say I go to this website here. I will open, or let me just go to some demo login HRM website. This one should be okay. So here this is a demo website where we can do login. We have the username and passwords here, so I can add username here and password here. Now when we create a test here, I will go to the browser, go to this link and then add username, that is admin here, and password, that is admin123 here, and click on the login button, and then I will check if I am navigated to the home page. Now here in this test I am using two data values, that is admin and admin123. Now instead of hard coding these values within the test script, if I'm able to externalize these values and get it from some external script or external file like Excel or CSV or JSON file, this process is called as data-driven testing, and this helps us a lot. Number one is we are able to keep our test data separate. Whenever there are any changes in our test data, we do not have to change anything inside our test. We do not have to touch our test. We can do everything from our data source. Let's say we are using an Excel file for our test data. We just have to make changes there, and then we can run our test multiple times with different sets of data. So we have to use the same test or the same test script, and we can add multiple data sets in our data file or data source, and we can run the same test multiple times with different sets of data. So this is data-driven testing, and this is the process of running the same test with different sets of data, and this data also is coming from some external source and is not hard coded within the test script. And this process is achieved in two steps. Step number one is parameterization. Here we replace the hard coded values from our test script and replace them with some variables, and then the second step is referring the values of these variables from some external script or files and then using them during the test execution. So this is a two-step process, and this is called data-driven testing. Now let us see the very first step of data-driven testing, which is parameterization. Here let us take an example. If I have to create a login test, I will do the following steps. I will first open the browser, then navigate to the login page, and let's say the username is John, so I will enter John in the username box, and let's say password is 123, so I will enter 123 in the password box. Click on the login button, and then I will verify that the user is navigated to the next page or the home page. Now in this test we have two values or two data values, John and 123. Now in the process of parameterization, the first step I will do is I will replace these values with some parameters or variables. Let's say I use user for the username and pass for the password. So this process is called parameterization, where we replace the hard coded values with some variables in our test. Now in the second process, while doing data-driven testing, we will use some external script or file, and we will add these two variables or parameters in that file, and then we will also add the values for these parameters. So let's say I want to run this test 3 times with 3 sets of data of username and password. So I will add 3 sets of username or password or 3 sets of data here, and then while execution, the username will be referred from the user column of the Excel file. Let's say this is an Excel file. It can also be a CSV file, a JSON file, or it can also be a script within our project, and then the password will come from this parameter of the Excel file, and this process is called data-driven testing. Okay, with this knowledge we will see So we have already seen the process of data driven testing. It is running the same test with different data, and this data comes from external files or scripts. It is achieved in two steps: parameterization and then referring the data from the external data source. Now let us go to Testim and see how we can do data driven testing there. So you can log into your Testim accounts. I am already here on my Testim account. So I have already logged in and I am here in the editor section where I can create a new test. Okay, so here step number 1 is we will first create a very simple test where we can demo data driven testing. So let's say I can use the same link here, which is this login page, and here I will go to the first step. In case you do not find any first setup step, you can directly start recording, or in my case it is showing me the first step with some base URL. I will change this base URL with this URL that I want to use. Okay, and then I will click on start recording. So it goes to the link. I will enter username, which is admin, and then enter password, which is admin123, and click on login. So I'm navigated to the home page, and now I will click on this user profile or user picture and click on log out here. Okay, this will also get recorded, and then I will stop the recording, and you can see all the steps are recorded. So I can now save. Here is the save button. I will save and I will say this is data driven test demo 1, demo for data driven testing. Okay, so this is saved, and let me run it locally first just to check everything is running fine. So I will go to this run button and I can say run locally. So let's say yes, it goes to the browser and goes to the link, enters username and password, clicks on login, and now it should click on the user profile picture, which I believe it is not able to do. If I see here, okay, so it kind of clicked here, but then it did not find the logout because that click did not open the menu where we have the logout link. So I will have to check this, and it will keep on trying because of the timeout, which is generally 30 seconds. So let me very first change the timeout. I will go to the first step and go to the properties here, and here I will go to the configuration. I will change this and change this timeout to, let's say, 5 seconds. So I will say 5000 milliseconds here. Okay, and then also now I have to check this step. It is showing this step failed, but we know because it was not able to open the menu from here. So let me see, this is what it is targeting. I will have to reassign. I will say reassign. I'm already on this page, so let me take this entire thing. Okay, now I will save this, and let me manually log out first, and I will run it again, and let's see. So it opens the browser, enters username, password, clicks on login, and again let me very quickly see. Okay, I will change this when to run step, always run, and then this native element, use native OS elements, I will uncheck, save, run. I think I will have to manually log out. Yes, now it is running, enters username, password, and yes, now it is able to check, and it is able to open the menu, and then it will log out. So which is fine. I'm not going into the details of every step. Our target is to learn data driven testing here. So now we have got our test created, which is step number 1. Now we have to decide on the values that needs to be parameterized, and of course we know here the values that needs to be parameterized are the username and the password. So these are the two values. So on this step we can see this is setting admin as the username, and then here it is setting admin123 as the password. So now in the test setup step, that is the first step, we will go to the properties by clicking on the show properties button. So you can go to the first step, and when you click on this button which is show properties, it will open the properties of the step or the setup properties, and then here you will find the test data button. So when you go here and scroll down, you should find and see the test data here. Click this and it will take you to the test data section here. Now here we can define the test data in our JavaScript editor. So we have the option to create our test data here itself in a JavaScript format, JavaScript syntax, or we also have option to upload the file from here. So let us see first. We will just go here and you can see there is a return block already created. I will go between the brackets of this return block, and then I will say I will use the parameters. I will create the parameters. Let us say username. This can be anything. You can create any name here. This is our variable or parameter username, and I will give the value. Let us say admin, and then comma, and then the next parameter which is I will say password. Again you can give any name here, and colon, and this I will say admin123. Okay, so this is how we can create the parameters. And now I will go back and make sure that you save your test. I will say created parameters and added test data. Okay, now I will have to run and check if it is able to take our parameters from our JavaScript test data, and yes, it is able to do it from there. So we are able to run it from our test data. So it is taking these values from here. I think I missed one thing. It is still not taking it from here. We missed one step. We have just created the parameters, but we have not yet referred it, and I think that is the next step. Yes, this is the step we missed. So this time when we ran, it is actually not using data driven testing. It is just using the hard coded values. So we have to go to the step where we have to refer the parameters or the variables, go to the properties of that step, and then in the text to assign field we have to replace the hard coded values with the parameter or the variable. So this is the step here which is for username. Here is the text to assign field. If you don't see the properties, you can go here and click on properties, and then here in the text to assign we will change this, and we will say whatever parameter you have used in the script you can add it here, and the same thing I will do for password. I will go to text to assign, and here I will say password, and make sure that you save. Okay, now it is a data driven test. Now let us run and check. So it opens the browser, and let's see if it uses our username and password, and yes, it used our username and password. And now we can say this is a data driven test. Okay, so these are the 7 steps. Now we can also create multiple test data. We have already seen how we can use a single test data from the JavaScript editor. We can also add multiple test data. So for example, I will go again to the test data here, and here I will say, because I am using multiple, I will say here this is one set of data. I will copy this, give a comma, and create one more set of data which I will say user 1 pass 1. Okay, and to use this, because I am using 2 sets, I will give a bracket, a square bracket start and a square bracket and here. Okay, so you can also do formatting here. So I can say like this. Just for easy readability, you can do some formatting if you like to. And yes, now this is fine. Okay, so I'm using two sets of data, and if I will go back to the test case, save it, and I will say edit multiple sets of data. And if I try to run it from here, let us see. It opens the browser and enters the first set of data, which are the correct credentials, and you can see it has completed the test. It has not ran the test once more with the second set of data, and that is because when we have multiple sets of data, if we want our test to run multiple times with each different set of data, we have to run it from either the CLI or the scheduler or the local suite run. So let us try that. I can for now create a test suite, add this test case, and then we will see from there. So I will go to the test list, I will go to suites, and I'll create a new suite. I will say test suite data driven demo, and here I will add this test, that is our data driven test demo 1, and here it is, and I will select it and run from here. So this time it should use both the sets of data. That means it should run 2 times with 2 sets of data. Let's see. It opens the browser. So here it is using the first set of data, and then it is running the second time, and this time it should use the second set of data, and yes, it is using, which is of course invalid credentials, and it can fail, which is fine, but we are able to run our test. So you can see this is executed, and here you can also see 2 runs of the same test. And if you want to see the test data it has used, you can go here and you can see the test data it has used. So this has used this test data user1 and pass1, and this test has used the test data admin and admin123. I can also go to the test data from here directly. Okay, so this is how you can do data driven testing. And as of now we have used the local JavaScript editor. We can also use we can use external files like Excel or JSON or CSV. So these are the steps to create a data driven test in Testim. And now, so these are some examples. We have seen both the examples. This was the example for a single set of data. This was example with multiple sets of data. We have already seen that if we want to use multiple sets, we have to run it from CLI or scheduler or the local test suite runs. Now let us see how we can run from an Excel or a CSV file. So here we can create a Excel or CSV file and add the data as per the parameters of our test. So here we know, I will go back to my test. We know we have used username and password as the parameters. So I will create a Excel file. You can use Microsoft Office or any other open office as well. In my case I will go to, I have a LibreOffice format on my system. I will create an Excel file here, and in the Excel file I will use the first row as for the name of the parameters, which is username and password, and from second row onwards I will give the test data. So let me say I will use the valid credentials as the first set of data, which is admin and admin123. I will add more test data. I will say user 2 and pass2, user 3, pass3. So these are, I have created 3 sets of data in this Excel file. I will save this, and I will save it as Excel SX format here. and I will say this is test data 1. You can name it anything. I'm saving it on my desktop for now. Okay, so it is saved here. Now in my test case, I will go back. I will go to the properties of the first setup step, and from here I will go to the test data, and here we have the option to upload file. Okay, so this is what we will do. We will click on the test data and then upload file. I will say upload anyway. It is warning us that if we upload the file, it will override the existing test data which is here, so it is fine for us. I will say upload anyway. I will go to my desktop and use the file here, and you can see our data has come here. And of course you will go back and save the test, and I will go to the, because I want to run with all the test data, so I will go to the my suites and I will run this test suite. So let's see, it should now run 3 times with 3 sets of data. So it opens the browser, and this is the first run with valid credentials. Now the second run. Let me see here, this should use, okay, I think because the logout is some problem here, so this is now running with the third set of data. It skipped the second set because of some issue there, so it will show us as a failure, which is fine. So you can see it is now executed, and if I see this run, we have 3 runs of the same test, and you can see the test data. This is the first run with the valid credentials. This is the second run with user2 and pass2 as the test data. This is the third run with user3 and pass3 as the test data. So this is working fine, and this is how we can use Excel file or CSV file or JSON file as well, and we can run the test. We can also use a JSON file. Let me show you very quickly. I will go back to my test, go to the test data. So this is a JavaScript format. I can go to any JavaScript to JSON converter online. You can use any of these. I can paste my JavaScript and it gives me a JSON format, and I can copy this and create a file. Let us say I will create a text file, or if you have some editors or IDEs like VS Code, you can use that. And I copied this JSON here, and I will save it as a JSON format. If I do not find it here, I can manually change the extension. I will say this is test data 2.json. Save it. I will have to manually change it here. I will say use JSON. Now here in my test case, I can go to upload file, and I will use the JSON file and say open. There is some issue here, so let me try to open it or use a editor like VS Code. I will say select a language JSON, and I will copy this and paste it here and save it. I will say this is test data 3.json, and I will save it in on my desktop. Save. Let me also make some changes so that we know that this is coming from here. I will say test1 pass1 test2, and I can remove this last one and save it. And now I will say upload file, and here is my JSON, and you can see it has come here. Okay, so you can also use a JSON file, and this is how we can do data driven testing in Testim. I hope this was very useful. I will see you in the next session. Thank you for watching and never stop learning.